We are live.
So then I says to Mabel, I says, "It's Thursday."
Eh, eh, eh.
Yeah, it's Thursday. Yeah, we haven't been podcasting in a while, haven't we? Well, that's what it is when you're an adult. You know,
It
you know,
happens. It happens.
it happens. The nice thing is we actually have been playing video games. Joe's playing one right now. What you
I
playing
am.
there, Joe?
I'm playing a little Diablo 3 Season 3.
It's touching on that D3. It's touching
Yeah,
on that season three.
I'm gonna power level one of my friends the rest of the way. We had some audio issues, and this seems to be the easiest way to um, get ourselves set up.
Oh yeah. That's the nice thing about streaming is that it kind of streamlines the process. I don't know why Bandicam isn't doing what it's supposed to do. It's something with Skype. I'll figure it out later because I'm off the clock. I don't need to solve technical problems. Uh, but we have played video games. Joe's gonna go ahead and do his D3 thing while we discuss, or at least as best we can, what we actually did do in the last couple weeks. So
I'll go
hey guys,
last.
you go last. All right,
Yeah, I
we'll
got
let you
lots
go
to talk
last
about.
because yeah, you got stuff that you can do. So hey Justin,
Hey, Will.
I heard that you played some video games.
The rumors are true. I have played video games.
Oh, scandalous! What did you play?
I played that new, well, not really new, but new Dark Souls 2 on PS4.
What's old is new again, and also old again, but mostly new. So all right,
Exactly.
I know that they basically rearranged the enemy placement.
Yes.
What else have they done?
Besides it looking prettier than 360 and PS3 and running at 60 frames per second, that's pretty much it.
Oh, okay.
So, it has all the DLC that they released last summer.
All right.
There's supposed to be a new NPC, but I haven't gotten that far yet into the game.
Okay.
But it's a new experience in the sense where like everything you thought was the same isn't. Like every area now has like different enemies or just
Hmm.
different enemy placements. So it's a lot of fun. I didn't think I was gonna enjoy going through it again,
All right.
but I'm actually really digging it. I like the changes they made. Some of it feels a lot more balanced, I should say.
Huh.
Want to say, yeah. I
Balanced.
mean, there's some areas that are just like, why the fuck did they do that? Like that,
Well, yeah,
just
yeah.
big troll things in the very beginning area of the what's like the Forest of the Fallen Giants. I was like, why? Why is that there? Just
That's
wandering
a
back
good
and forth.
question.
So, but for the most part, I feel the changes they made is actually for the better,
Huh.
and I'm having a lot of fun with it. And it's after playing and beating Bloodborne, I'm just flying through that game.
Yeah, I
It's so
guess.
much easier than Bloodborne.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I guess Bloodborne is like Dark Souls on harder. It's harder, and
Harder.
I guess coming back and having that shield or however you're running that Dark Souls. Yeah, I guess it would be easier, huh?
Oh yeah, it's easier when I can rely on that shield if I screw up or just wait for those moments where I can counterattack. But I mean, some of the stuff that I learned from Bloodborne is carrying over, so I can actually see like when there's attack that's like slower than the others, so I actually can get in there quick and do like a 3 hits and then back out.
Huh. Okay.
So it's I'm having fun with it,
Good.
except for
Good.
those assholes who invade the same area over and over again.
So it's definitely a Souls game.
It's definitely a Souls game.
Yeah. Yeah. That
So
happens.
yeah, it's a part of Dark Souls.
Yep. You knew what you signed up for.
I knew what I signed up for,
Yep.
and I'll gladly do it again.
There you go. See, that's the thing.
So
You can't really complain because you
nope,
knew what you signed up for.
I knew what I done did.
Yep. You know what you did.
I know what I did.
I heard what you.
So
I heard what you said.
I
I
heard
heard
what you
what you
said.
said, and that's why I invaded your world and just rusted all your gear. That's what I did. Enjoy that. It's for you.
I like it. I like it a lot.
I love it, Michael. Michael.
Oh, Marco.
There we go. So how much did this like Dark Souls 2 Plus cost?
It was a full price game.
Full price game?
Yeah.
I guess
60
it's
US dollars.
pretty
US
much a new like okay, so somebody who say let's say somebody never played the first Dark Souls 2, which feels weird to say. Would they be at a disadvantage just jumping right into this one, or what do you think?
No,
No?
because like the changes they made, I mean the quote unquote story is still the same.
Okay.
The
For the
enemy
most part,
changes, like I'm sorry, the enemy changes like really wouldn't affect them because they don't know
No.
better.
Yeah, they don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Placement wise, they would be like,
Mhm.
oh, well,
Okay, well
Yeah.
that guy's there now, so all right.
Yeah, they didn't lose anything if they didn't play the first game. So, the
Okay.
first version of the game. So it's still the same thing. You're
Gotcha.
still going to the same areas, looking for the same stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So
All right. Well,
That
there you
was-
go.
for the person who bought it before,
Mm-hmm.
ah,
Stickier question.
yeah, if they bought the game and all the DLC and played through it,
Yep.
I mean, unless they really want to play through it again on a higher frame rate,
Mm-hmm.
then maybe.
Okay. All right.
I think it's a free update though for 360 and PS3. So
Wow. Free?
yeah. Well, the DLC you still have to pay for, but the actual changes they made is like I think it was just an update.
Okay. All right.
So you
Because
can get that experience if you already have it for 360 and PS3.
gotcha. Because I know that they did like a kind of similar thing on the PC where it's not technically free. It's like what was it, $20 or something?
30 or something like that.
Yeah, it's not like the full price of the game, but if you already have Dark Souls 2 and then you're just like, hey, we see that you're trying to buy this game, buy this version because it's basically the in-place update. Okay. So, yeah, like, all right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's free. I think it was just a patch that they did that changed all the enemies and everything.
Okay, that's right, because they get the enemy placement, but obviously they
Yeah.
don't get, the fidelity updates.
Yeah,
makes
no,
sense.
that's
Yeah.
not going to happen on PS3 360.
Congratulations, your game now runs at 10 frames per second. Oh, great.
Download
Nice.
this patch and we come to your house and replace your system.
Download
That'll
this
be
patch to make it
$400.
worse. Oh, well, oh no. I don't think I have that many points.
The patch is free, but the service
Yeah, that's right.
It's
And then you
gonna-
have to tip
gonna
the guy.
cost, yeah.
Yep.
it's going to cost you.
It's gonna cost, yeah.
Yeah.
So that sounds thoroughly enjoyable. Is it as thoroughly enjoyable as that MKX, the Mikix, the okay, is it Mortal Kombat 10 or Mortal Kombat
10.
X?
It's
It's
10.
10.
It
They
is
say,
10.
They say 10.
Okay.
Well,
All right.
No, they say X, but it is 10.
All right.
the fighting game community that I've seen says, listen, now we're getting into Brad Shoemaker territory. We're not.
All right. Okay.
We're not
See,
going to have
that-
these arguments because I have respect for myself.
that's fine.
It's
Small
it's-
amount,
so it-
but it's there.
Yeah.
Either way,
Yeah.
you're not wrong. So
Okay.
it is the 10th game. It is an X at the end. So
All right.
who cares?
Going into that OS X territory where we're gonna have OS X11. So I don't know what to call it anymore. Fuck.
Yeah. What do you,
All right. So
No,
how is it?
It's awesome.
It's awesome.
It's awesome.
All right. All right. Tell us more.
tell me about that story.
It is, well, fatality wise, it's definitely the most gruesome they've ever
Some
done.
of them were like, okay,
Yo.
I'm almost 32. I have a child.
Mhm.
Like, some of it just didn't.
Shit's fucked.
It didn't really sit well with me. I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting old, but like.
No, it's gross.
Some of that
like,
wasn't
it's,
for me. Like, and
it's
I
like-
grew
it's-
up with these games, you know.
Yeah, I feel like we've gotten to the point where back in the day when it was like pixelate, like they were 3 inches tall and pixelated, and it's like, oh, that looks like a spine. That's gruesome, like in a general sense. But now it's like, oh, this is a lovingly detailed rendition of somebody's brain cavity and also their twitching tongue.
Like, I don't even know
Oh.
how these like character models stay together. It's like how many ways they can get cut and blown up.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's not technically that difficult, but
Well, I'm just saying, it's just like a ridiculous, like how they're just waiting to fall apart.
yeah, they're basically a bunch of gibs in a cloth bag or something like that. Yeah.
Like, oh, there goes the top of my head, and now my brain's on the ground.
Oh, good. Oh, good. There's all my
That happens.
fingers. All right.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, this is the first one. I'm like, oh, he's dead. Oh, wait, they're still going. Why are they? Why are they
He's
still
already dead.
going? It's just unbelievable.
Yeah.
And like Scorpion like throws a fireball, and like the entire center is like gone, and their heart
Yeah.
just like drops,
Yeah, like a
and they just
necklace.
fall over, and then he just like chops just the face off.
Just the
Just the
face.
face.
Just the face.
And
Like
I'm like,
Equilibrium style.
they're already dead. What are we doing?
They're already dead, but now they're more dead. They're like super dead. They're double dead.
And you just hear like the gurgling sound. Like, oh, it's like, oh my god.
Do we
Yeah,
know
it's just
the
like-
do you know the tier ranking yet for I think it's a little early for that, but do you know
I
what peop-
think
what
I think
people are
some
using?
sites are already posting it.
Okay.
So with Mortal Kombat, since there's like 3 variations for each character, it's like fucking ridiculous
I know
list now.
Raiden is not very well liked right now.
I think one site had Cassie Cage at the top.
Yeah.
I could believe that.
Or
I'm not a
Twitter.
fighting game guy, but just for the selfie fatality alone, you
Facebook.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Those comments just keep going.
Yeah,
it doesn't
that's-
stop.
Yeah, they're
I sat
generated.
there for I sat there for like 5 minutes, just like it's got to start repeating and
They're
stop.
pretty. It was
No,
pretty
it's-
good.
It's the amount of
Interesting.
detail they put into that. It's just
Yeah. I
ridiculous.
love that
wish
she's friends with the toasty guy. You look in her friends list, you see the toasty guy. You're like, oh, it's cool. It's called back.
I just love the detail they put into Mortal Kombat. I wish
Mhm.
other fighting games had that.
Yeah.
Street Fighter.
Duh.
But no, I love it. The story mode's great. I mean, I'm impressed they actually have a story mode. I couldn't believe it the first time they did it, and they're just picking up where they left off. So now I'm like really anxious for the next game, just for the story mode.
Huh.
Just the thought they actually put into it. I mean, it's not the most,
Well, no.
in depth, but it's fun.
Yeah.
It's cool that they did it instead of
See-
you have to fight these 10 guys. Oh, here's this ending. Oh, but it's a possibility. It's not what happens. So it's cool that they actually have that in the game.
Right. Yeah, I mean, like that's the one thing that I've been hearing a lot about Mortal Kombat 10 is that like they did the whole, I guess it's like a reboot or whatever with Mortal Kombat 9.
Yeah, it was it Mortal Kombat Armageddon on PS2 and Xbox?
Sure.
Sure, yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I don't like I'm
It's-
really I know almost
Like,
nothing.
Like everybody lost at the end of that game.
Okay.
So
A lot of people
Raiden,
died.
yeah, everybody
Yeah.
died.
Everybody's
So
dead. Okay.
Raiden had to like go back in time to change events so Shao Kahn doesn't win.
Okay.
So Mortal Kombat 9 was a retelling of Mortal Kombat 1, 2, and 3.
Biden goes
which-
back in time.
Majority of the people died anyway.
Way to go, Lightning God. Omnipotent time traveler.
Like
Way
the
to go.
last, like he fucked up so
Dude.
At the end of Mortal Kombat 9, I'm like, who's going to be in the next game? Everybody's dead.
And he's just like, well, whoops, I guess. So here we are with Mortal Kombat 10, and
Start
still doing
pairing
his
people
lightning
off and-
god thing. Man, just not good at his job. I don't understand.
No, not at all.
No, really not.
Mortal Kombat 10 is basically like a retelling of Mortal Kombat 4.
Okay.
So it's Shinnok and Quan Chi, trying to take over the Earth and all that fun stuff.
So is the Mortal Kombat series, at least in terms of story, basically a story of Raiden like fucking up and going back to undo his fuck up, but then fucking up worse, just over and over again?
Well, they only did it the once.
Okay, they only
One
did.
time.
Okay,
So it was like a story from like Mortal Kombat 1 all the way to like Armageddon,
right.
which I had no idea what the fuck they were doing after like Deadly Alliance. All I knew is Liu Kang died.
Okay.
So he goes back in time, and then they do the whole series all over again, and then that's where we are now.
Okay. And everybody's dead again, mostly. Less people
No,
this time.
less people. Some
Less
people
people.
came back.
Yeah.
Liu Kang is still dead. So
I'm really
give
mad
it up.
that Jade is dead.
A lot of
I
people are angry that
I
Jade
like
is dead. A lot of people like Jade.
Yes, a lot of people do.
Yep. So, in terms of story, stronger this time. But like, not that the story was bad in Mortal Kombat 9 because it wasn't. It was just
No,
kinda,
it wasn't.
It was a thing. But this one
It-
definitely it's got you ready for ready for Mortal Kombat 11.
Absolutely. Especially the scene during the credits. So like, okay, let's let's do this. Let's give you another one. Let's go.
All right, there's that stinger. There you go, the hook.
Yeah.
Bring you in. Bring you
Uh,
in.
Yes. Oh, like gameplay wise, it plays like Mortal Kombat 9.
Okay,
Faster pace. They took a little bit of Injustice from it.
right.
They had like the stage interaction of Injustice, so you can pick up like an old woman from the background and like throw it at the other person,
As one does.
as one does.
As one does. It's important. When in Rome, throw old ladies. That's why I
do.
can't go back, actually. Yeah, it's. Yeah.
How many does it take for you to not be able to go back?
One. It
Just
takes
one?
Just one?
Just one.
Just
Just
one?
one.
This one?
Just the one.
All right.
It's actually about 12.
They don't know about the other 11.
They don't know about the other 11.
They call me
I threw
with
them
one.
real good.
Oh, throwing people. That's what
Yep.
I do. Just throw
There you
people.
go.
Off
Throwing
the
people
balcony.
off the balcony,
Off the balcony.
into low Earth orbit. You do what you can.
Do what
Make
you can.
people mad online. How is that online, actually?
How's that netcode?
Yeah.
What are you playing it on?
I'm playing on PlayStation 4, which I'm not a big fan of PSN, but thanks to Street Fighter, I kind of been buying all my fighting games on PS4. So it's all right. I know they need to. I think there's more updates coming on the way.
Right.
So, but it's not awful.
Okay.
I still wish I was playing on Xbox Live, but it's whatever. I'll deal with it.
Is that generally considered to be better netcode? Because I have an Xbone now.
Yes, to me personally, all my experiences on PSN has been kind of average or less.
Yeah, I think
It's good to
PSN's
hear.
just weak in general. Even for like downloading games and stuff like that. It's just I don't know what it is with their server. It's just not so great.
I love the free games. They can give me free games all the
Oh,
time.
yeah,
but
free games delivered
I-
at 300 kilobits a second. Yeah.
Rather not play games online, PlayStation.
Yeah.
But have all my fighting games on one system, so what can I do?
Play them on that system.
Yeah,
Forever.
Forever.
Yep. Well, it sounds like it's a thoroughly enjoyable package then.
It is.
Good.
I'm digging the variations part of it, so
That's a really cool and fresh idea for that
Yeah.
series, and it seems like it works super well.
Yeah.
like, you can get away with like a smaller roster because now you have like 3 like distinct versions
And
of
the
each
roster
character.
is pretty small. I gotta
Yeah,
say.
it's like 28 people, which compared to a lot of the games now, is kind of small.
That's true, actually,
That's
now that I
okay.
think about it. Yeah.
But that's fine. Just you can have 3 different styles of each character, and like their looks change. They have different special moves. Some moves they don't have anymore. And like the brutalities, or some of them are exclusive to like certain variations. So
And it keeps it fresh.
Yeah.
absolutely. So when you're seeing like, oh, it's same matchup, it may not be because they may be different variations of the characters. So
Yeah.
makes things more interesting on a tournament level. And watching streams, it's like, oh no, this is this version and this is this version. Let's see which one's better.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it would make it less stale at a tournament, but
absolutely.
then you have to take into account, a lot of those tournaments like ban a lot of fun stuff, which is super boring to me, but I'm not a competitive player anymore. I probably won't end up buying the game because I don't have a group. There's no
Mhm.
scene here anymore, so it's kind of hard to justify $60. That's a lot of money.
Well, when it comes down, I mean, it seems like it'd be fun just to play it through in single player because there are a lot of single player features from what I've seen.
Yeah, like I said in the chat, I mean, I'll definitely buy it when it's like $40 and it has all the content with it.
Mm-hmm.
At
Yeah.
that point, I feel like it would be totally worth it.
Absolutely.
Mike, why wouldn't I?
Yeah. There you go.
I'll enjoy the shit out of it, and
Boom.
if I'm not paying 60, I'm gonna enjoy it. So
Exactly right. Never pay more than $20.
that's right.
For a video game.
I completely stand by that.
It's a good rule. It's a good rule.
Mhm.
All right. So, any other games there, Justin?
I got talked back into another game.
Oh, that.
Yeah.
With
Mm.
God damn it.
Yeah. Yep.
How's that feel?
I
doesn't
don't
feel
want
good,
to
does
do bounties. I
Yeah,
don't
well,
want
you gotta.
Well, I
gotta.
got it because I've got exotic guns that I never leveled up. So, and that's like the only way to do it.
Got to pump your guns.
I gotta pump my gun.
Got to pump the guns.
Guns out, guns out. Mm.
Get them swole.
Oh, swole. But yeah, I got back on that horse Wednesday night. No, Tuesday night.
So recently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
helping somebody do a nightfall, and of course, I didn't get shit in typical RNG fashion.
Yep. Just not your day.
Thanks,
your week.
Bungie. If you didn't
You're
know
welcome.
what game I was talking about, it's Destiny.
Yeah.
House of Wolves comes out next month.
And that's
Time to
not a
get back
raid
on
you
that
were
grind.
saying.
There's no raid.
No raid.
raid.
So
this time.
what's in it? What's what makes it worth picking up?
It is it's 3 new story missions, 3 new quests, whatever the fuck that means.
How much is the expansion?
The expansion is $20 by itself.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
fine. Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah. You're not gonna.
Yeah, they
get a
were
raid
all
for
$20, aren't they?
Come on.
Yeah.
No, well, Dark Below was $20 and I had a raid.
Well, it's
Yep.
not gonna happen every time.
No.
Sorry.
And
I'm sure
I-
the team's not that big anymore.
No.
I actually don't want it to happen every time because they're adding a arena mode, which is just 3 people. And I'm
Ooh.
assuming all the new gear and stuff is through that. So I'm happy that I just need 2 people to do the
Yeah,
new
right.
stuff.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm sure it's going to be like just horde mode, but I played plenty of horde modes that have been fun. So,
Or,
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
have enjoyed them, and
absolutely. Gears was the first one. That was awesome. Halo
Yeah.
had an awesome one. Fucking Mass Effect 3, as shitty as that game was, had an awesome horde mode multiplayer.
There you go.
I would
really
pay
happy I
$60
bought an
for that.
Xbone because I think Halo 5 is going to be really fun for me, and
Yep.
I look forward to playing it with like Justin and Leroy. I think it's going to be fun.
I can't wait to see it at E3.
I really, it's just I'm a sucker for like Halo. I've just played I've basically only stuck to single player and co-op because I'm a weirdo, I guess. And Halo
That's
5.
fine.
I
We
mean-
only do the beta for multiplayer. That's it. We don't even play the real multiplayer.
Well, there you go. See? But yeah, that Halo 5, I'm like, I want to play Tin Hat Conspiracy Theorist, not Master Chief. I want to play him, and I don't have an Xbone. So now I'm sitting here like, is that a system seller? Time will tell, I guess. But I don't know, man. Yeah, we'll see. It's coming. And it's also not Destiny, so there's that.
It's not. It isn't Destiny at all.
Yeah, it's actually the opposite of Destiny, and that it's entertaining right out of the box. Who would
I
have
don't have
guessed?
to roll the dice for the best weapons and watch
All right.
somebody who just jumped into a match and get the best weapon. So it's,
Yeah, there you go. I've been here for like an
I've earned
hour,
this gun.
and this asshole just walks in.
I've earned this gun. Everybody should earn it. You didn't.
Everybody should grind.
You didn't earn shit. Just sell me the fucking gun.
Bootstraps. Well, people yelling bootstraps into their mics on. I don't.
Everything's terrible.
Everything's terrible. Video games are terrible.
Bad. They
Yeah,
are.
yeah,
They
So-
are.
Get off
they are. But is that what you've played, Justin? Is that everything?
I believe so.
I believe so. But it's been
I'm
it's
just
been a good
waiting.
week.
It's been a solid week.
Yeah.
Just waiting for that Splatoon and The Witcher.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
very nice.
Splatoon.
And what
and
are you
The
playing
Witcher.
on?
It better be PC.
It depends what I can get for the cheapest amount of money.
All
It's
right.
probably gonna be the
Sounds good.
PC. You just wait like
I don't
4
know
months
about
after
that one.
release.
I
Yeah, that's
don't
true. That's
know.
true. Yeah.
We'll see.
That's cool. That's cool. I'm sure it'll play fine on whatever. I mean,
Oh yeah. Yeah. Everything's basically the same system now. It's just
mhm.
well,
yeah, it's true.
yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if my daughter is deciding that she wants to wake up for hugs. But if so, I will just be AFK for a while, and you guys can finish up.
all right.
Mm-hmm.
But she made a little beep. But
Oh.
they do that.
I didn't expect babies to beep.
Sometimes they make little honks and beeps.
Honks, beeps.
Well,
Like
it varies night to night how she
Okay.
sleeps, just like
Gotcha.
us. Just like
Sometimes,
just like
yeah.
adults.
Yeah. Sometimes like an adult, sometimes like a human, sometimes like a car. It happens.
That's
Yeah. That's all right. That's all right. You can go hug that daughter.
We'll see. See
Yeah.
if she wants it.
Hug
Yeah.
the beeps out of her.
Hug the beeps out of your kid. Kid should be beeping.
Stop fucking beeping.
Beep child. I don't understand.
Motherfucker.
It's got the beeps, the creeps, and the
Yeah.
sweeps.
Yeah, that's parenthood is fucking weird. That's what we've learned.
I
Yep.
totally am in agreement with that.
Yep. Games though.
Video games.
So, yeah. So I guess Joe, if you're gonna go attend,
Yeah, we'll see if I have
alright.
to, but yeah, I've just the Killing Floor. I was lucky enough to get a key for
Yeah.
Killing Floor 2. The early access starts on Tuesday. I'm super excited. I played a lot of the beta, and it's really solid. I've been playing Grand Theft Auto, um, Grand Theft Auto 5
Ah,
on PC, which is a absolutely wonderful port.
I'm really contemplating
the
getting rid of
one
my
true
PS4
version.
one for the PC one. After that Baywatch video, I think I
It
want the
runs
PC.
super well, and I'm not like I don't think I'm gonna dedicate like my whole life to the online part of it, just because I'm gonna be spending so much time with Killing Floor and Diablo and
Yeah.
all my standards, my go-tos. But I am very much enjoying
Good.
it, and
Good.
Very
it's
nice.
one of the best ports I think that I've ever seen. Something that started on a console and ended up on PC, especially just because of how abysmal 4 was. This is a welcome change.
Yeah. 4 was not a good port. It was
It was terrible.
yeah, it wasn't good. It wasn't like Saints Row 2 level poor, but it was getting there.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Working its way down there.
Working its way down there. No invisible well, no, there were some invisible cars. Uh but you weren't like Wonder Womaning everywhere. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's a beautiful game, and you're going to be seeing it a lot on stream starting on Monday.
All right.
And the other game I've been playing is obviously, as you see, Grand Theft, or yeah,
Grand Theft
Di-
Diablo 3. Yeah.
Diablo 3 Season 3 on my Wizard, and I am having so much fun.
Yeah, that build is kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, dude, it's super fun.
I love it's just like seeing seven digit numbers just falling out of things, and then you tell me your meteors are doing like what was it, 3.6 billion or something?
Yeah, actually, I had a meteor hit for 25 billion when it
Yeah,
was fully
see?
buffed, and it's just fucked up, and
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying it.
Yep. Yep. It's basically like WoW pre-squish. It's those numbers. That's what you want though, because it tells you exactly how powerful you are now. And it's great, That's exactly what you play Diablo for. Is just to become increasingly powerful and to just steamroll everything, which you are doing very effectively.
Yes, I am.
Yep. So, has that really been it for you this week?
Um,
I mean, I guess, right? 'Cause
just Killing Floor,
yeah,
Grand Theft Auto, and Diablo. That's pretty much it for me. And then,
yeah.
once Tuesday hits and the early access is out, hang on a minute.
Yep. 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 See, I'm not a big GTA. Well, I mean, I play GTA, but I don't like dwell upon it. And then
Yeah,
GTA 5, holy shit, that looks incredible. Like that's, I don't look at a GTA game like, yeah, that's exactly what I want right now. I'm going to go to a store and buy it. But that just the phenomenal amount of detail. And I mean, that's like Rockstar always knocks it out of the park with detail. Like the jokes, the design, the world feels alive, and now you can explore it in first person. You know?
it's playing that game in first person is like a completely different game.
Yeah, yeah. It looks,
It's just unbelievable.
yeah, it's like Fallout, GT, Grand Theft Fallout, some kind of. It's the Skyrim I've always wanted.
Like, how well does that work? Because I didn't try the first person.
It's not a true first person, and the field of view, even at max, is kind of low. But I'm sure that they'll patch that because there's a lot of negative feedback. with
Right.
it. Um, Basically, they put the camera on your chin and try to mimic a first-person view, but it's done very well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's pretty fucking awesome. So
Especially when you take a dive or get hit by a car or flip your car or basically anything. Like
yeah,
even
anything.
first person punching is pretty hilarious. But it's definitely like maybe not right now, but certainly when there's a sale or I find some spare money, I'm definitely going to jump on that bandwagon.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to be on sale anytime soon, but
Hmm.
maybe a summer sale. Who knows?
Yeah, it could
That
be.
would,
Or
that'd
it
be pretty cool.
could be that I just end up having stuff I can trade in to get Steam cards or something, then
Yeah,
do that, you
that'd
know?
be awesome. But that's really it for me, man. It's been a crazy week at work, and
Right,
I
right.
haven't really had all the time to do that stuff. But
Yeah, but enough to do a sampling. But I want to hear more about that Killing Floor 2, because
man, it is just.
It looks really good.
yeah, it does.
There's going to be 10 classes.
Okay.
Early access starts with support. Um,
Support?
Sorry, I was typing. My
Nah,
mistake.
that's all right. That's all right.
So it starts with support, medic, commando, and berserker. Berserker's the melee.
All right, right.
Commando is all about assault rifles.
Naturally,
Medic is the healer,
of course.
and support is shotguns.
All right.
So there's going to be 10 classes, and I don't want to spoil what they'll be, so I will. We already have the complete list that was leaked, so
Cool.
I will leave that for a surprise. But let's just say I am very excited for one of them. And the game it runs on Unreal Engine 3, which means the recommended specs are a potato.
Yeah, yeah.
You can, dude. I put it up to ultra, and I was getting like 200 FPS, and had to
Yeah.
limit my FPS because I got too many frames a second. And it was fucking. It was fucking.
We got
the
too
physics
many
of it.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We got
yeah.
too ma-
We got
I
too many.
gotta hit the terrible button now. Jesus. Yeah.
Mm.
But that's
If you've ever played Killing Floor, it is a wave-based. It's a wave-based shooter.
it's horde mode. It's
yeah, it's
yeah.
basically
Yeah, I was gonna ask.
Yeah.
Is it just like a cooperative?
Yeah,
Like wave
that's-
based? Okay.
It's horde mode, but that's the entire thing. But that's where the real meat is,
Yeah,
so to speak.
absolutely.
No,
And
that's fine.
there's a dismemberment system. I mean, I'm not gonna get into all the specifics now and bore people to death, but you know, there's plenty of YouTube videos about it. See if it's something that you're interested in. We're gonna be playing a lot of it. Early access is $30 for the standard edition, $40 for the collector's edition, which you should absolutely,
Yeah.
please God,
Yep.
buy the collector's
Emphatically.
edition.
So that way you can wear headphones in the game. It's the only reason. It's not the only reason. It is the only reason. No, it's really
Okay.
not.
Fancy duds.
Yeah, get those fancy duds, get the bonuses and things like that. I also heard that the extras coming with that special edition are actually going to be made available for sale individually, like after
Absolutely.
release or
Yeah.
something. Yeah. So
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
All of the maps are going to be free, all the extra maps, and like Killing Floor 1, you'll just have to pay. Like what you pay for are weapon skins and player
Mhm,
skins.
Cosmetics.
Yeah, you pay for the cosmetics. Everything else is free.
all right.
So
How- how can you say no to that?
exactly. How could you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Super excited to play this game. I got over 1,500 hours in Killing Floor for a reason.
Yep.
And I'm super excited to play it.
I'm looking forward to it.
Lots of mutant killing.
Yep. Lots of swearing, like you're from Britain or something. Lots of that.
Money.
Yeah, and it's I remember you saying that there were actually like some Unreal Engine 4 stuff baked into it.
Yeah, what they did was they pulled things out of Unreal Engine 4 and were able to bake them into Unreal Engine 3, like some of the lighting, some of the shadows. And it's probably the reason why the game looks as good as it does on
Yeah,
older
yeah.
engine. But what's awesome is people can max this game out on very minimal hardware, so this game's going to have a very healthy community.
Yeah.
The early access, it'll come with I think 3 or 4 maps, but there is an editor, and
Well.
you can import maps from Killing Floor. You can create your own, and you can also create your own maps. So they are
Oh.
allowing that in early access, which I thought was
I
pretty
like
cool.
it. I
So,
like it.
$30 and you'll get access to the full game eventually when it's done, but they're going to be ramping up what they put into the early access pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And
Very nice.
I can't say enough good about it. It's doing a lot of stuff different with the classes than Killing Floor.
Right.
And it's going to make it a lot. So there were 6 levels per class in Killing Floor 1, and it took a long time to level. Now there are 25 levels per class, and every 5 levels you can choose one of 2 perks.
Okay.
That the first perk is like I think from the second perk up, they really start to change the way the class is played, and it really encourages teamwork.
Yeah.
So there are like team perks and solo perks, and you could change them at any time. But
Yeah.
It's not during a match, obviously.
No.
But
No.
yeah, it's going to be good shit. I think that's the limit of my knowledge about that. I'm going to have to play it more.
Right.
And what else? Yeah, dude, just Diablo, Grand Theft Auto, and a little. I didn't do too much of Killing Floor. I didn't want to get burned out.
Yeah. Must make sense. Yeah.
There's really nothing else on the horizon. I was playing H1Z1, but it's super buggy. And
Is it?
I'll let them do their thing, and
Yeah.
yeah, man, just do their thing.
Yep. That's right. They know what they got their schedule. We got ours. They will do what they need to. I trust them. Like what I've seen. So yeah. Well, I've actually also played some games.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, as you may not believe, I actually have been able to. I've been playing a lot more games than I thought I would have played. That's what happens when your significant other ends up working on weekends, and then you find yourself with a lot of free time. So actually, I went down some of my old backlog. I got a lot of smaller games that I've been playing or meaning to play or bought eons ago because they were interesting and I never played them. But actually, the first one I did was The Vanishing of Ethan Carter. Now, you guys remember that game?
Which one was that? That was the one you were saying it was pretty?
The one that was pretty as fuck, that was done by People Can Fly, I think it was. They're part of People Can Fly.
Part of the people who did Bulletstorm.
That's right. Yeah, another one of those cases where it's like how the Talos Principle was done by Crow Team, and you wouldn't have expected it from the guys who made People with Bombs for Hands. Yeah, Vanishing of Ethan Carter. When I first started the game, I thought it was going to be like a more or less straightforward kind of mystery story, with like a supernatural bent, because the guy's like, I'm Paul Prospero, and I'm a something investigator, blah, 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 ghosts. And I'm like, all right, okay, well. So, yeah, but I mean, it looks gorgeous. I mean, it looks absolutely stunning. It's hard to describe exactly how it looks in motion, but it's basically like you're playing a Thomas Kinkade painting, if a Thomas Kinkade painting was good. So, that's basically.
It's gonna go over the.
It's over everybody's head. You know what? That's fine. I'm expanding your mind. I'm expanding your mind, listener. Any listener.
No.
Just deal with it. Deal with it. Your head's big enough. You can take it. It's fine.
Don't give it to
it's
me.
Fine. There you go. Just stuff it right in there.
I don't want it.
Just take it.
No.
Take it. You fucking love it.
Take it. I'm not going to stop until you understand why Thomas Kincaid's a fucking hack. That's what I'm going to do. But it's just absolutely gorgeous. And part of the interaction with the, scenery and stuff, it's just you look at a point of interest or an object of interest, and then it brings up like the word hovering kind of Sherlock style. And then you click on it, and, you can sometimes either get other words to direct you in the, direction of other clues, or it opens a partial window into the kind of situation that led to the object being where it is, almost like tearing through your screen into the past almost. You go through most of the game doing that and finding clues and other pieces of information that kind of lead you towards your goal, which is to find Ethan Carter, the child of a family who's apparently got some ties to let's just say takes a bend towards, the Elder Gods, brings in some of that Cthulhu action.
I don't want that.
Well, it goes that
Ain't
way.
no Raiden. That's what you're saying.
Yeah. What's interesting, though, is that it actually ends up twisting that a bit, where you start wondering if what you're seeing and what you're experiencing is actually what really happened or the manifestations of the imagination of Ethan Carter. Like maybe you're actually coming across these things, and as this kind of like supernatural detective, you are not necessarily seeing the truth, but someone's idea of what the truth really was. And it becomes clear, like through some notes and things like that, where his home life is kind of messed up. Things are not going well, and maybe you're watching this boy cope with these things as he's led towards wherever he is, because he's gone. I don't want to spoil it because it's actually a pretty short game. I think I spent some time on it, like maybe 8 hours, because I was taking my time looking at the scenery and stuff like that. But you could probably burn through it in like 3 hours, but it definitely towards the end swings in a direction that you would not expect given how it starts. And the story itself kind of straightforward, but the presentation really clever, just really kind of meta. You have to think about it. I actually had to take notes in some cases to really kind of make sense of what was happening. But a really good game for, I don't know how much it is right now, but you can probably get it for like $3 on whatever Steam sale happens in however many weeks, because there's one every couple weeks. Yep. I also played Betrayer. You guys know about Betrayer?
I don't.
No.
Okay. All right. Great. It's this first-person shooter, and I use the term shooter lightly because it's this game that's set in the very, very early colonial stage of America, and you are some dude who's just kind of washed up on a shore, and you have to kind of like basically stalk through the woods with your bow and arrow or, muzzle loading weapons. And, very deliberate combat, very slow pace. There's no music. There's basically just the sound of the wind and wildlife. And that's for a reason, because you need to be able to hear where they are, and you need to be able to hide and know how much sound you're making so that way you can get past them, because you're pretty fragile. Everything's pretty fragile, actually. And it's interesting, too, where it's like you have to, if you want to like sprint without drawing attention to yourself, you have to wait for the wind to blow, so that way it masks your footsteps. Like that's the amount of attention to detail that's in this thing. It's also it's also presented almost entirely in black and white. You can change the color scale so that way actually you get the colors of the textures back, but it actually makes a tremendous difference for the gameplay, because enemies for the most part are noted with like a splash of red. Like they stand out against the wilderness, so that way you can actually just kind of stop and hide in a shadow and then watch for movement and then see just like a flash of red moving over a hilltop in the distance. So that kind of thing. But then you also, and see, it's kind of, but it also plays with your expectations in that respect, because at some point you will encounter an enemy who is just as good at hiding as you are, and there is no red on their body until they spot you. And I didn't know that they were a thing until I started hearing noises that I hadn't heard in previous areas, because I was, listening to the wildlife, and then I heard what sounded like a bird call, but it was different.
I don't like it.
It was kind of wrong. And then I started getting shot with arrows. I'm like, oh, fuck, shit. All right, okay. So then, caught on pretty quick that they were not, wildlife. But it's just a very creepy game. It's definitely not, like, it doesn't go out of its way to be disturbing, and the kind of matter-of-factness that it kind of plays with the idea of death. Like, essentially, you get to the first fort, you run into a woman in red who doesn't remember anything. She's like, yeah, I don't know what happened, and there are these ashen people everywhere.
Yeah, that's a problem. Yeah, that would
Yeah.
be unnerving to me.
Yeah, it's just like I don't, and then you're like, all right. So then you kind of like you're presented with this bell that's just kind of hanging there, and so you're like, okay, I'm just gonna
I don't like it.
I'm just gonna let that there. But first, I'm gonna go around to investigate and see things because it's kind of presented as a mystery more than a shooter. So you like start digging around in the village to find out what happened to all the people. Then you find a petrified eye, and a petrified ear, and a petrified tongue, which the writing describes that they are stone but warm to the touch. And you're like, not sure I'm okay with this. So you go back to the bell, you ring the bell, and then you're in the world of the dead. The world of the dead.
This is
Oh,
you're not. Listen,
wait.
You're not selling. You're not selling.
No,
Oh.
no. Yeah. The world of the dead looks, and this is just like the visually striking thing about it, because as soon as you end up in that world, the black and white inverts. So suddenly it's more, instead of like, black text on a white background, it's suddenly like white text on a black background, that kind of thing. It inverts, and then you look up at the sky and realize that the sun is gone. You're basically at the bottom of a great ocean of darkness, and the trees are just kind of like blurred out by the tops of these waves somewhere in the sky. It looks really cool. And then skeletons pop out of the ground, and then, you're fighting the dead. So there's that. It's a really atmospheric game that makes a lot of it forces you to really be deliberate in your actions and your paths that you take through the woods, because you're basically left to your own devices. You have to like carry water so that way you can heal yourself. Your ammo is mostly limited at the start. You have to be really careful about your shot placement, because if you mess up, they will eventually figure out where you are and come find you. So it's but beyond all of that, you're hunting for clues in different kind of like abandoned and ruined settlements to find out what happened to the population. And when you find, their remains, you can actually go into the other world, let's say, and speak to the spirits of these departed people to find out what happened to them and kind of resolve their stories. So it's really cool. It's just if you're easily scared or disturbed by stuff, maybe not the thing for you to play.
Not the game for you.
Not the game for you. Especially like, okay, this game is just, I haven't really played anything that actually feels like hunting. This game feels like hunting because it's just you and nature and quarry. That's it. And especially in one particular part, I beat the game, and then ending left me kind of lukewarm. I won't really explain why because it's a spoiler, but
All right.
ended up in a part, in the free roam
I read
mode
that,
after
you
you.
were kind of like,
Yeah, it's just like the writing is actually pretty strong for a video game, and then the author just goes in this kind of like hackneyed direction right at the end that just there's no telegraphing about it. You kind of get the sense that he would go that way, but you don't really want him to because that would be the lame thing to do, and he does it. And
right.
yeah. So then I went on the forum to look at his explanation. He's like, yeah, I mean, it's like I could have written this really like well thought out ending where everything is resolved and everything is like explained, but I felt that was too neat, and real life isn't neat. So I used my shitty
okay.
one.
Never mind.
Yeah.
So I
But-
used my shitty idea.
Yeah, so I used my shitty idea, and then people were immediately like, no, we kind of like the other idea that you were talking about. He's like, yeah, that's fair. Which is funny, too, because when you do the free roam mode, you run into the woman in red again, and she's like, yeah, you're probably angry about the ending. Like, yeah, actually. So it takes some balls to like just kind of call yourself out like that in the game to be like, yeah, we know. So sorry.
Mistakes are okay.
Yeah. But so towards in the free roam thing, I went into the woods. There's these like deep, dark woods, and everything is cast in shadow, but you can hear everything, and you can just catch glimpses of movement between the trees of things that may not necessarily see you, but you can see them as long as you're careful. And then I see this thing just in between two dark trees, just a silhouette against light, and it looks like a spider.
Oh,
It looks like a spider. And just by looking at the trees next to it, I realized this thing is probably about 8 feet long.
All right. Okay. I'm with you.
And
I'm
I'm
still with you.
Yeah, so I'm just like, okay. So I take out my bow and I loose a couple arrows. It
Already, you're not doing well if you
yeah,
just have a bow.
yeah. I'm pretty good with it. That's the nice thing. Everything is fragile. And this thing was also fragile. So it died, it flipped over, its legs curled up, and I'm like, okay, that was an 8 foot spider. All right. Uh and then I heard its children.
This is not.
And I saw them just kind of like swarm out of the shadows towards the body of the dead spider and just like waiting for something to come to try to loot the corpse. Like, who did that? And I'm just like, I'm just gonna,
Slowly back away.
I'm just gonna, yeah. It's just like I was just like, you know what? That's great. I wash my hands of it. I'm gonna leave the area. So, but I didn't even know that thing existed. Like I passed through that area multiple times and never once encountered that monster. And because I was hunting for treasure this next time to kind of like, 100% the game, and I stopped for a moment and listened and watched, and I saw something that had been there the entire time, and I had never once seen it.
Hmm.
The entire game is like that. So whether or not you want to do that to yourself, well, it's up to you. But I think it's like probably $15 now. But that was actually, I really did enjoy my time with that. Finally finished Nisanse?
Sure.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, it's I talked about it a little while ago. It was that French game about like bunny hopping through minimalist kind of dreamlike landscapes. Uh
Jumping Flash.
yeah, pretty much. Jumping Flash, but really fucking French. And sure enough, the game ended in like the most French way possible with no ending at all. It just like
Oh,
gave me a text screen and then credits. And I'm like, what?
congratulations. You beat
Yeah.
the game.
You beat the game. And it's like, what? And apparently it's like naissance means like in French the born or
Bad
like the
name.
birthed or something like that. So it may have been one big analogy for childbirth. I don't know.
Oh,
But
boy.
yeah, but the game itself actually a lot of fun. It was a Joe. If you remember, I was actually describing how it induced vertigo
Yeah,
at every opportunity.
That's when I noped the fuck out of that conversation.
Yep. Well, that's basically what it did the entire time. It basically structures itself entirely around vertigo and just traversing impossible spaces with your very limited body.
Yeah, I'm good,
And
bro. I'll
yeah,
pass.
all right. But it was good. It was the music was also really interesting because it wasn't necessarily background to things that were happening in the game, but actually like a performance in and of themselves. Just very classical pieces, very kind of involved with the synesthesia of moving parts and things like that. I got very kind of like Hayao Miyazaki vibes out of some sections of it, which I thought was actually really neat. But that was the last good game I played this week because then I finished Night Shift, which, God, it's like it had promise. And then I played the game and realized that the only reason I finished the game was blind luck. Like the puzzle logic was just completely not there. The controls are awful, and I don't know if it's because the car itself was just bad to drive. I think I told you about this, Joe. It's the game where you're like driving around in the desert to run over ghosts and regather flames to like rekindle the sun or something with a lot of 80s synth music going on.
What?
Just eat my ass. I'm not.
Just yeah,
I'm not
it's
into
not.
this.
It's like it's not good. It's just not a good game. Uh, the music was okay, but there was like one song and it just kept playing over and over again, and eventually I hated it. So, yeah. I also gave up on Eidolon, the walking simulator, because it's still a literal walking simulator. It was like,
Easy.
no, okay. Imagine, if you will, that the story itself is interesting. There are bits of story spread out through a realistically proportioned section of Washington State. And that sounds great and everything. You're like, okay, great. So where's my car? Well, you don't have one. All right. Do I get a bike? No, you walk everywhere for hours between story beats. And like, I think I played maybe, God, I don't know how much. I stopped counting. Maybe less time than I thought I did.
You were very
But
angry.
I was so fucking mad at this game because it had so much potential, and it just turned out to be the worst possible thing it could have been, which was just like, hey, here's a story. I'm gonna go ahead and take another 5 hours to turn the page for you.
All right.
Like, here's how you play the game. You hold down W. That's it. You hold down W for hours, and
Yeah,
people.
dude, you don't know. That's really deep. You don't.
Yeah, I don't.
You
No,
don't
I.
even know.
You don't know
Oh,
shit.
it went right over my head. It's just like, man, this talk about like, existence and walking and just
Most of
being,
walking.
just walking. Uh, if that game was like maybe 1/300th of the size that it is, it would be a lot better because the minimalist presentation actually really interesting, leads to some nice visuals. The music, ambient stuff, kind of portrays space, lets you know in your different sections you're gathering like bits and pieces of maps, people's journals, things like that. The atmosphere is good, the story is interesting, but I'm not gonna play it for 45 actual hours in real life to collect all that stuff.
Top keck. Top
Yeah.
fucking keck right there.
Yeah, like I went to the forums to see. It's just like, okay, is there a way I can make myself move faster? And it turns out, yeah, there is, because it's an Unreal Engine game. So you just bring down the console and you type slow mo
Uninstall.
100. Yeah.
Uninstall.
Uninstall. There you go. Game beat.
Got it.
So I set it to move 100 times faster than normal, and it worked. And it still took me like an hour between story beats. So I'm like, who the fuck would do this to themselves? Well, I did, but
Well, yeah.
yeah, basically. And I went out to the forums again, just like, did anybody actually like beat this thing? Did they, look for? Did they compile like a wiki of all the stuff so nobody else has to do this ever again? And no, they haven't, because nobody's actually found everything yet. And some people are just like, yeah, I found 160 pieces after 33 hours of playing. I'm like, you held down a key on your keyboard for 33 hours. That's what you did. What do you even do with yourself in real life? Like, how do you have this much time? Or do you just come home after work and just hold down W for the next 6 hours until you go to bed? It's just like, hey, this is good. This is good use of my time. This is fun.
We're all having a good time.
We're all having a good time.
Well,
It's
we're
like-
all friends here.
Yeah.
Get comfortable.
Yeah. See, if I wanted to go for a walk, I would go for a walk. It's just this. I don't want
Could you hold W? Oh yeah, you probably could hold W.
I could. I
Right, right,
will go outside with a keyboard and I will just hold down one key and walk with it. And people be like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Playing Eidolon." I don't get it. Don't worry about it. It's just it had so much potential, and that's ultimately the most frustrating thing. Because I was talking with, I think it was Rob weeks ago when he was still getting on these things. Games that are bad like right away aren't necessarily frustrating because they're bad instantly. But a game that isn't really bad or doesn't really show its hand until you're like 2 hours in, you wasted that time. It's just like that game, it took your money from you, and
Like the dev
you can't even
knows,
enjoy
too.
it.
Like they front load all the good shit.
Yeah, and it's just that's just what happened. It's like the software, not software, the shareware model, where it's just like the first episode of the game is great and everything else is kind of shitty because it's like, oh, well, we wanted to put our best foot forward and also only there, and here's everything else. Okay, great. But it's just one of those frustrating games where it's just, it could have been good. It could have been great, but it wasn't because somebody got a little too artsy. Yeah, a little too artsy. Like
Little bit.
people were posting pictures of actual locations in Washington State, just like, oh, have I been here before? And they're like, no, you haven't, because you're sitting at home pressing W. All right? It doesn't even look like what you're posting. It's a mess. It's a mess. And that's why I gave up on it. I uninstalled it. And every so often, I admit, part of me is like, hey, man, you're going to have a lot of free time in the next couple hours. You don't really feel like doing anything. How do you feel like holding W? I don't, actually. No, I'm not putting
Are you
that.
sure?
I'm sure. I feel that I'm certain that I
Like
don't
you can
really
do
want
something
to.
with your other hand. Like you can get stuff done.
I don't.
Maybe. No.
No, it's no.
It's just
Yeah,
all your focus is just pressing W, and that's it.
the game has an auto walk button. Like you could literally play this with no keys at all. You could just kind of point the mouse where you want to go until your in-game person gets too tired to keep walking, and then you just press the sleep button. And then you keep walking after that. And then maybe your guy is hungry. And then you're like, okay, well, I'm just going to take a moment to just pick blueberries from these like low-res bushes. And then I'm going to click on the eat button. And then I'm going to sleep. And now I'm going to keep walking. And it's just like, I remember early reviews of this game where people were just like, is this a survival simulator? This is really easy and boring. And I'm like, yeah, it kind of is. It's not really a survival simulator, guys. This is not what you wanted. But that was that, and that's why I gave up. I'm just like, all right, never again, never again. Eidolon, I don't lawn. It's shitty, uh, shitty. But what's not shitty is Pillars of Eternity. I got to get back to that. Because that game is a Baldur's Gate game, and it's really good. The devs are, of course, phenomenal. Really responsive, doing everything they can to patch out crazy bugs and stuff like that. Story, fantastic. Writing, fantastic. Graphics, stellar. I mean, it's just like 2D never looks so good. I actually did pick up Ori and the Blind Forest. Haven't touched it yet. I need to go back to that. Heard good things.
Yeah,
I need to get that at some point.
Yeah.
There's so much to play.
Yeah, it's Steam. It's the life of a person who has a Steam account. Yep. But I guess that's really been it for me this week.
you did a lot.
I did a lot. I did a lot more than I thought I had done. And now having actually read all of that, yeah. Yeah, that's I'm just glad that I stopped Eidolon sooner, because otherwise I would not have gotten nearly as much done.
I'm still walking.
Still walking, still wandering around what I think is part of
Is that game
Bellevue,
good?
or I don't know. Man,
Alright,
Seattle looks
maybe
kind of
after-
shitty, and then it was like, God. Yeah, I've actually it got to the point where I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna rip open the game resources and find these images and look at them, and I couldn't do that because they're stored in non-standard formats. So I was like, all right, well, I'm not even gonna expend this effort. So, bleh.
What if you had a dog with you?
See, if you had like any kind of point of interest, like a dog or a bike or something, it's just
that dog.
yeah, walk the dog. That's the thing. Like if I had to worry about the dog survival, or I'm like, oh shit, I got to make sure this dog doesn't die, then it may be a little more compelling, because then there's like a gamification of it. There's a reason to keep going. But where it's like, if you intentionally kill yourself, which I tried, it
I
didn't
don't give
work.
a shit if I live anymore.
That's basically it. I was just like, I don't care if I live anymore. Well, part of me didn't want to do it because I was afraid that if I did, I would have lost all of my progress, like everything I found. Turns out it's not the case. You will just respawn in quote unquote a healing swamp somewhere. And then,
those are places I go to.
yeah, I know. Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you restart, you're still nowhere in the game anyway.
Yeah, that's basically it. You're still like, you have what you collected, but you have no idea where you are. And then you just got to keep walking. Just got to keep wandering. It's just like follow those.
Did I start
prompts.
over? No, you're still
No.
here. No!
And maybe that's a meta statement on the futility of existing in a post-apocalyptic, post-civilization world that is Eidolon, where everybody's fucking dead.
I'm still here.
Well, are you really, though?
No!
Exactly.
Well,
Philosophy
Yeah,
students
to
are
that.
crime.
that'll probably do it for us, huh?
Yeah, that's honestly like, I guess that's it, because we don't really have any news, and
Not really. We're just waiting for E3.
it's the countdown to E3. But I guess what we should do now is tell people exactly how they can get in touch with us. Hey there, Joe.
Hey, buddy.
how may a person, say, express their particular take on an existentialist game such as, say, Eidolon?
I heard it's
Remember-
podcast at thedigitalbench.com. You should fire up your Gmail, AOL, Yahoo, Gmail, GeoCities, Hotfire, Angel Dust,
All right.
web program, and send
right.
email over the internet and send it to
CP.
podcast at thedigitalbench.com. Please send us mail because we want something to talk about at the end of the podcast, and we don't have
Yeah.
that right now.
No, we really
It'd
don't.
be
I
cool
even
if
checked
we
the
had
inbox. Yeah. It'd be great if people actually asked us questions. And, they don't. That's fine. We're not wise. It's okay.
No.
No, you don't want our advice.
I don't even think
Nobody
anybody
wants it.
listens to this, but I don't care.
Yeah,
Her.
we do it for us
I have
because this
fun.
is
This
yeah,
is a selfish endeavor. I don't give a fuck about any of you.
exactly right. Exactly right.
This is about me. I don't know what you're on.
Embracing the very kind of self-centered nature of utilitarianism. No, that's not right. I don't care.
It's Satanism, right? That's what being a Satanist is. It's just being selfish, right?
No, I think that's called being a capitalist. That's what. Oh, topical.
Oh.
Fuck. So Justin,
Yes, sir.
Damn.
what's that email address again?
It is podcast at thedigitalbench.com. And I need some water, evidently. Jesus.
Oh God, you sound like you've been walking.
So please
Yeah.
send us an email.
Send
I
us an
was-
email.
Started walking.
There you go. He's going to start walking for that water. And if you don't want to email us at podcast at thedigitalbench.com, of course, you can tweet at us. We'll ignore it. We don't use Twitter. Nobody uses Twitter. Some people use Twitter.
Nope.
For
You
them.
shouldn't use Twitter. I use it to yell at game developers, and
And you do it well, sir.
I am
Do it
pretty
really
fucking
well.
good at it.
You do it. You yell at game devs and gaming personalities and ask them to please work out.
Please.
Please work out.
I like you. I want you to stay. I want you to stick around.
I want you to be alive.
That's
I want
why
you
I
to
want-
just
I really just want you to lift a weight.
yeah, just or something. If you don't want to, say, tweet at us at The Digital Bench, then you can, of course, follow our Twitch stream, twitch.tv/The Digital Bench, facebook.com/The Digital Bench, in case you want to pretend to make friends with strangers. That's fine. Everybody does it. That's really it for Joe, Justin, and myself, Will. And maybe we'll see you next week, by which I mean talk at you next week, because I can't see anything. This is audio. Yeah. Right. But maybe we won't. I don't know.
Impossible here.
That's
Thank you all for watching. As always, we do appreciate it. Thanks for
do.
watching Diablo, because this game's really fucking old, and
Yep.
I love it. So fuck you if you don't like it.
Oldies are the goodies. We'll see you eventually.
Yeah, we'll do a thing. All right, thanks for
Do a
watching.